Hi, welcome to Are We the Only Ones? I'm Kathy, and today I am recording from Disney World. I am in a one bedroom right now it's called Bay Lake Tower, but it's actually at the Contemporary Resort. And I'm a Disney Vacation Club member, so I'm in Bay Lake Tower, which is the Disney Vacation Club wing. No, this is not an ad, this is just my life. Um, I wanted to record on location. So I figured I'd do it from here this morning. I'll be staying at 3 different hotels during my stay because I couldn't find one hotel that had my nights. So I get to split stay, which means I get to go from Bay Lake Tower, Contemporary, to the Grand Floridian. And then after that, I'll be staying at the Boardwalk. So I get to see a lot of the resort. And I'm only here for a few days, but I plan to see the things that we don't have at Disneyland, because when I come back to Disneyland, I'm doing a VIP tour. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to go to Epcot and Animal Kingdom, because we don't have that in California. And I'm considering getting a park hopper, which is, I think it's like $90 for the entire time. So it's not per day, which is great. Just so I can go get lunch at the Brown Derby and get their famous Cobb salad. I know it's crazy. It's a chopped Cobb. I don't think you understand how good it is. I literally might go do it and just do an episode there just to justify being able to go. Yeah, time to do a food series, right, guys? Disney World food series. Maybe I'll do that right now. So I will say this, going on a solo trip is really interesting because what it allows you to do when you solo travel is you get to kind of experience yourself. Like, who am I without my family? Who am I without my partner? Who am I without my children, right? And you get to explore sort of like what you want to do and how you want to do it, what you want to eat, when you want to eat it, at your leisure. And I know a lot of people are really scared about traveling solo because they feel anxious about judgment. But I can tell you, in the best way possible, the bestest way possible, nobody gives a fuck about you. And I mean that, honestly, in the nicest way, because when you say that to yourself, when you're out there thinking like, oh, are people staring at me because I'm sitting alone? No, nobody cares. If you're thinking, do people think I'm weird because I'm on vacation by myself? Do people think I have no friends? No, nobody thinks that. You know what they're thinking? And I know this for a fact because people have said this to me, because it's not my first time traveling alone. I travel solo all the time because I just got tired of waiting for people to be available. So what I've learned, especially at Disney, this is my first time going alone to Disney World. Have I gone into the park by myself when my family was here? Yes, I have done that. But I've never traveled completely alone here to do all the things. And luckily, when you're a DVC member, they say welcome home, because it's basically like a vacation home situation. So I do feel at home at Disney World, but I will say that every time that I am out alone at Disney World or Disneyland, people always go, oh my God, are you here alone? And I go, oh yeah, I'm here without my family, so I can go do everything by myself. 100% of the time, people go, that is genius. That is genius. I wish I had thought of that. And if only I could get over just thinking that people are staring at me. And I'm like, I can tell you right now, everybody's so focused on their own family, schedule, timing for rides. Nobody is paying attention to little old you. And the fact that nobody's paying attention to you is even better, because it's so easy to get on any ride when a cast member's like, oh, are you alone? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm by myself. They go, oh. I get in everywhere, like so easily. And I'm not asking. Never ask. Don't do that. Disney etiquette, if you know, never come in hot. Never come in demanding. Never be entitled. I think that's a good general rule in life. Don't come in hot. Don't come in entitled. Always come in hat in hand and very deferential and very apologetic. Maybe because I lived in Japan for years and I learned that's the Japanese way, is to always start from a very deferential, apologetic place, very polite place. And look how the world looks at Japanese people, right? Always considerate, always thinking about the greater good comfort of the mass and not themselves. And their society functions very well because of that. As a matter of fact, I just read, but I know this to be true anyway, out of my own personal experience, it's actually now officially cheaper to go from America Tokyo on a flight, go to Tokyo Disney, and stay in the hotel than it is to fly from anywhere in the United States to go to Florida, to stay at Disney World, to get a ticket there and eat for the whole family for the same stay. And I know that to be true because Tokyo Disney only costs $54 for the ticket. So maybe it's like $74 now or $78, but it's well under $100 per person. And there's a Twilight ticket too. At the end of the day, it's like, I think that's like $34 to $58. So I think that's very interesting too. Like a churro at Tokyo Disney is only $2.50. Churro in America, I think $6.50 now. I'll go check today, actually. I'm going to do a whole thing because that's the great thing about being alone and being a podcaster, as I can do a whole bunch of content today, and it's going to be pretty awesome because I know this place. Like, I really know it. I will show you all the different hotels that I'll be staying at, the different food options that they have there, the different levels of dining, because I've eaten at everything here. And this trip, I'm actually going to be trying to save money just so I can see what it's like to just be like, if you're on like the tightest budget, how does it feel? Because I usually come here eating at all the signature dining restaurants. For my family of four, I don't think I've ever been able, even when we've actually like really tried, like actively from New York, we used to come here 4 times a year when we lived in New York. Also because New York is not the friendliest place for families. So as a new mother, as soon as I got on a plane at JFK to go to Orlando, you could feel the community on the plane for parents. So that I just felt extremely safe. So we started going to Disney World a lot. And then when COVID happened, Disney and Disney World, Disneyland were like the cleanest places. So I definitely felt safe then. So I was, for the last, I'd say 10 years, I have been extremely Disney loyal. So I have started to wane off of it because they changed the Disability Access Service Pass, which was their like sort of like a free lightning lane, except it wasn't as fast as lightning lane. Like basically the way it works is you would set up a time for a ride, and the time that at that moment, however the wait time was, would be how long you had to wait before you could get back in line for the lightning lane. So you're still waiting, you're just not waiting in line. And when they got rid of it for the Make-A-Wish Foundation kids, so these were families that had like the Disability Access Service for like a decade or more. Some of these people had terminal cancer, they're in like wheelchairs. They couldn't get it with the new disability access rules. So there's a new, I believe there's a board meeting very recently. The shareholders had a discussion on the Disability Access Service and what they're going to do to update it. There were a lot of people that abused it. That's true. But the way that they handled it, I feel like was scorched earth. Because when you're taking people, there are people that were veterans that had PTSD, they come to Disney and all of a sudden they didn't have their pass, their access. They had their families come with them. They went and they had panic attacks because they started freaking out that they had like let their family down. You know, there's all these crazy stories that I know were true. Like I absolutely know they were true. And I understand Disney being like, look, we can't let the abusers, you know, American society is like, we don't want the people that are cheating to get away with it. I think like in other societies, sometimes it's like more about just making sure you're helping the most people, even if people are cheating. But in a capitalist, look, America, capitalism, we understand, right? Supply and demand. Joseph Smith, if you know, from business school. A father of economics, by the way, if you didn't know there. But the most important thing is that we have to find some balance, right? So as a result, I don't think Disney realized that would be a result, but someone like me who, I'll be very honest with you, I spent a lot of money at Disney. Like, a lot. Not normal lot. Like, fanatical lot. To the point where when I walk through a gift shop with my kids, I can't believe we're not buying stuff anymore because we literally have bought everything and some things like 4 times even. They lost all that money from me. I own Disney Vacation Club. I'm locked in for, when I signed the contract, it was like 48 years. And I'm starting to feel, you know, like, I don't know. I arrived yesterday. I thought I was going to be FOMO that I wasn't going into the park first day. I have this interesting ticket where you don't need a park reservation. You can just go anytime at Disney World. So I could have gone last minute yesterday if I wanted to. I arrived at 4, got to the hotel at 5, and had no urge. Just wanted to hang out. That was so weird because I used to just be like the second I'd hit the freaking ground here, headed to the park. Even if I was by myself, even if my family didn't want to go, I would go. I would go until closing. I'd do it. And I just didn't have it in me. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And it's sort of like this very interesting thing. I'm going through these phases, right? So I've been talking about cruising and gambling, and I do have a, hardcore Disney subculture understanding. But what's interesting is how, for me, the intensity of these things that I was really into, how I've been able to like wean myself off of it. And, gambling obviously is like an addictive hobby. But even that, I've been able to sort of just like start, I think of it like Velcro and just to pull myself apart from it successfully. Like I really don't play anymore. I don't really care to play that much, like every once in a while, but not like I was, for the stint that I was going for like 2 years, I think I was playing almost every single day, if not every single day. No, I think I was playing every single day. If I'm being honest, I was playing every single day, whether online or if I went to the actual casino near my house, and then between that and then going on cruises. But I was winning, right? So it was like, as long as you're winning, it's okay. But it's the same thing. It's the same feeling where I'm here at Disney World. Excuse me. I'm here at Disney World, and I really expected that I would have almost like the feeling when you have like a longing for something that you can't do. I didn't have that at all. But I think it's because maybe I feel like I'm living here because I am comfortable here. But again, I was telling my husband, I can't believe, like, I used to go to Disneyland or Disney World every 2 weeks. And this is from New York. There was even 1 year that it was like, I was going maybe not every 2 weeks, but I think it was something like every 2 months I was going. Like I was at Tokyo Disney that year. There was 1 year I almost went to every single Disney park in the world. There was 1 year I'd only missed, it was because Shanghai wasn't built yet. It was only Disneyland Paris. That if I'd hit Disneyland Paris that year, I would have hit every single park in the world that year. So I think it's an interesting thing from an economics perspective, right? That you could have a customer that you had converted, had turned them into the most loyal customer, right? And then lose them because you did something that morally felt repugnant to them. And some people it didn't wean them. Like I definitely had friends that when the DOS change happened, they still continued. They're like, I'm not going to stop going. And I was in these big groups, in these forums on Facebook talking about it, discussing lawsuits. There's a attorney that's handling it right now. And I felt that I couldn't explain what it was. It was just something so wrong to me when I was seeing like these people that were paraplegic and they were on feeding tubes or oxygen tubes, and they like couldn't get in on the DOS. And I was just like, what? This is so obviously sickening, right? Like it's wrong. So I know Disney does the right thing overall. Like the core values of Disney, I believe in. I will always refer back to the Disney family and how they intended it. Abigail Disney is a huge donor of a lot of philanthropic organizations that I support or a part of. So the Disney family themselves will never be tainted for me by any corporate decisions. But where I'm going to spend my dollars, it's different now. I used to spend I'm not even kidding, like outside of just disposable income, probably 70% went to Disney. And our household income is pretty good. So now imagine all that, I'm not spending that like that at all. Like yesterday, okay, I'm on points, right? So I don't have to pay anything. But like, I usually would drop $50 on dinner by myself here. Yesterday, I spent $8. I was shocked. I could go to California Grill. I can go to Steakhouse 71. I'm in the Contemporary Hotel. This is one of the best dining spots on property. just wanted 2 cups of soup, guys. That's all I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe because when I flew first class on miles. Again, thank God for miles. When you're on a budget and you got miles, hell yeah. Because you get so funny to be kind of like, I'm on a budget right now. But then being able to use my loyalty things and things that I've like accumulated, and then you get to feel like you're balling. You're like, hell yeah. I got to eat a Jose Andres Spanish omelet for breakfast on the plane yesterday. That was dope. Excuse me, I have a chest cold. And I got to sort of feel the dichotomy of being on a budget, but then also living the life, and you get to observe things about like behavior, like the way that people move when they have money, it really tells you a lot about who they are at their core. So like I always say, you're kind of 2 parts to a whole, right? The poor version of you and the rich version of you. The poor version of you, you'll know how much stress you can take, what kind of diamond it creates out of you. Because under that pressure, if you don't lash out at people, if you can still maintain dignity, if you can still maintain composure when you're broke, this says a lot about you. Now, I totally understand. I've heard Charlize Theron told the story about like when she climbed into dumpsters and had to dumpster dive. Like, dude, there's a different sense of survival, but still like maintaining a certain of how you treat people, right? There are homeless people that are the most generous people out there. I've seen homeless people if you give them something, they go share it with others. Where I've also met people that are super successful and rich, and they don't share out of the kindness of their heart. They only share for a transactional reason. They share because it'll help gain favor, right? Or they share with an expectation of some kind of transaction that they've accumulated some kind of credit with you that they can like maybe push you in ways that make you feel uncomfortable, right? So there's like that, like Diddy, right? Like that. So I'm always aware of that. Like I have felt both. I'm very lucky to be in a very comfortable household, but I also know what it's like to be just like going to the WIC office when you're pregnant. Like I know what that's like walking in the snow, like pregnant. Like I know what that's like. And so I will always be in my core no matter how much success I get to experience with myself, my husband, my kid, whatever. I will always feel the inside me, the real person is the poorest person. The poorest that I'd ever been, that person is really who I am. And then obviously when I have means and I like to be generous because I understand, I always see when there's somebody that's in need, like I'm like, oh, let me help you right now. I know, like I've been there. Like, let me pay for your groceries. Like I've been there. I get it, So, that feeling of when you can remember the value of each dollar is sometimes really nice. Like when you've had, like there were moments this year because we just bought our house that like, there's a couple really tough times. Like I would say like there was a few times where we really had to strap down and it made me immediately remember the value of a dollar, like really, really understand the value of a dollar. And I like that. And it was easy because I knew, something, it's just a very short amount of time. And that's the thing I will say about my situations of when I've gone through really tough times. They were less than a year. I'm very lucky that my situations were only like very short amounts of times. And then when they ended, it was like very feast against the famine, like extreme feast against the famine that I had just experienced. So it was, I was very privileged in the sense where I got a big sense of relief and I knew there was light at the end of the tunnel. I just had to survive to that time, right? But having those moments where you have to actually like go like, I only have $100 for the next 4 days, right? Like that kind of vibe is a completely different thing, especially if you're like, or maybe it's even more extreme. Like I cannot pay these bills, and I just have to. They're just like clear. It's not even good kind of vibe. or in moments where you have real need and you have to ask a friend or somebody and then they come through for you. Those are the people that, now, there are two types of people who will loan you money. One that does it with, dude, whatever, like, don't even worry about it, like, get back to me whenever. And then they never hold it over your head, and they're just your, like, true champions. And then there's people that do it with expectations that they will forever own you in some way or be able to, like, talk down to you, insult you without you being able to stand up for yourself. There's those types of people too. And you have to kind of figure out, they're like emotional loan sharks, right? Like the money thing, they'll give it to you. And then if you pay it back, but maybe, who knows? I mean, I've never not paid any debts back, but like, let's say you're somebody who you couldn't pay the debt back. And whatever that dynamic then ensues because of that, I can understand how like difficult that can be. So there's all these things that you learn in your life when you're realizing like who you are and who you want to be and how you want to be treated and then how you want to treat others. And, you know, it's interesting because I'm sitting here and I could see, you know, the Disney artwork and everything. And it's like, what I love about Disney so much, there's two things. From a creative standpoint, there is no denying the impact that Disney has had on families around the world, period. Okay. So the most important thing that we have to understand is that at the core of our human experience is the connection we have with each other and the joy that we can bring and the magic that we can bring. And in the magic, we want to be able to also bring happiness and kindness, right? That's like humanity at its best when we're taking care of each other, when we're rising to the occasion, right? And then on the same side, using Disney as an example, how the corporate side of it can affect the magic, the true magic of it, right? And here's the irony. In the Disney cast member culture, when they say have a magical day, it actually means fuck off. So it's actually funny because my kids will go, have a magical day. And then they all start laughing because they know it means fuck off. But my kid doesn't know that. He actually thinks it's like the courteous, like Disney language, which it is. But, you know, like all things that have a little adult twist, there's a little tongue-in-cheek vibe, right? So what I am finding in my sort of being here is being reminded of like the good. I'm going into Epcot today and I really want to feel the good of Disney again, the magic that I always love. What do I love about it? The corporateness? In terms of a business, it is one of the best executed businesses that a consumer can experience. It's super clean. When they mess up, they try to do right by you. So long as you don't come in hot and act like a fool. Don't do that. Now, is it expensive? Yes, it is expensive. Why? Because it costs a lot to maintain something at this level. And that's why you have to pay so much. But it's also painful, right? As a family, you want to be able to give joy. I remember the tight times I was like, we can't go. We can't go to Disney. Sorry, can't go. And, you know, there'd be like, I remember one day I was like, all right, I have DVC, I can go in the lounge, I can get free drinks in there. It was the funniest thing. I was like, I cannot believe that I am like this broke today, that I have to like, just like be like this. And then it made me kind of appreciate what Disney offers that you can have that's free within whatever I have access to, right? But then also what you can do, why an annual pass is such a good value for somebody, because you get to feel at the highest level of care as many days as possible, right? That's really all we really want in life, is to feel care, to feel cared for, to be considered, right? To have felt that other people were considerate of us. These are the things that make our human experience wonderful, right? So one of the things I love also about Disney is that when I go to Disney, whether it's Disneyland, Disney World, or any park around the world, I always get to see happy families. That's the thing. This is the weird thing about them. For whatever reason, I think because the first person that ever passed away in my life that was like a very maternal figure to me, I happened to be at an amusement park that day for her funeral. So then there was like this association with funerals at amusement park, I think. Or maybe, I don't know. But when my grandmother passed, I wanted to go to Disneyland. I didn't go, but I really wanted to go. It was like a compelling feeling I wanted to do. But I had to work. I had 2 jobs at the time. I was working at the fashion design house and I was working traffic engineering. Like, I couldn't go. And then after that, every death that I've ever experienced after that, I go to Disneyland or Disney World. Because what I need to do is I need to combat my sadness in an extreme way. And I need to like see people that are happy. I just need to see it. It makes me feel less sad. Do I go on Peter Pan and cry? Yes, I do. Have I done that? Many a time. It's a great ride to cry because it's dark. But it was also my mom's favorite ride. So I go on Peter Pan to think about her. And it's a place where there's so much joy. People share great moments here. Also, you know, if it's like, I know so many stories of people that come to Disney before they're going to pass away from cancer. You know, it's an entity that's bigger than the corporation. It's an entity. It's an idea. It's like the best of America, you know? It's even patriotism. You know, they're interested in thinking about Walt Disney. He made propaganda. He was so patriotic. He actually made propaganda, and they even admit it's propaganda, you know? But there's something about loving your country so much. And because I come from a very patriotic household. We were military affiliate for 9 years, you know. That's why I was in Tokyo in Japan, because I was there for the Marine Corps at Air Station Iwakuni. And I remember going to Disney in Tokyo and feeling like, okay, I need to be anchored. I miss home for Thanksgiving. We would go to Tokyo Disney. And it would sort of remind us of home. It was this interesting thing. And then in Disney around the world, when there was the tsunami, and in Japan, when Disney at Tokyo opened up, that's when they knew everything was okay. And it's kind of like their Waffle House. I guess it's the truth. I don't make the rules. It's just what it is. So I think I'm starting to feel, I'm talking myself back, feeling into the magic again. The dots, I feel bad. I hope the shareholders made good changes. Look, people should be able to use their paperwork if they want to prove that they need the access. That's the easiest way around it. If they want to opt out from suing you guys, right to privacy, they can opt out. But don't deny people the access if they are clearly, legitimately, rightfully entitled to it. And I'm talking to the corporate, because I love you creatives at Disney. You know I love you. Zootopia too. Oh my God, that was so good. Oh, so good. So good. So I want to say that I'm going to go in now with a better kind of feeling. I was sort of like ambivalent. I was going to go in like, I'm here. I should be here. I got to do this. How can I not be here? How can I not go in? But now I'm excited to go in. And I want to thank you guys for listening to me through this, because if you are somebody who has a love for something and then you've lost the love for that, but you want it back, you understand this feeling that I'm going through. And I mean, it's not hard to love Disney, but when you fall out of where I was at, I'm telling you, every single vacation centered around going to a Disney park somewhere in the world for like 10 years. Okay, like, or Disney Cruise Line. I did 8 Disney cruises before somebody told me when I won a bingo. I had to split it with this family. I still won $700, but they were like, if you like to gamble, you should be on any other cruise line but Disney, because they'll give you cruises free. And I was like, what? Because these cruises at Disney are like, rightfully so, they're expensive because they're good. I'm not like, go on a Disney cruise, trust me, they're good, but they're not cheap. So, you know, I have a Disney cruise coming up. I think think it's a Disney Destiny. It's like the balance is like $11,000. So my husband's like, I don't know, dude. We're so used to only paying taxes and fees for Royal Caribbean and Carnival, which is like $250. It's a tough one. But I can't gamble, which is good, right? You get there's so many activities, you don't need it. You don't need all that other stuff. So the food is good too on Disney Cruise. Yeah, I needed this. Because I was sort of not knowing what I was going to do about these 2 cruises. I have a cruise in March and May for Disney. I've been pushing these cruises off for a couple of years now. I think we're going to go Singapore Disney Adventure. Gotta look excited. Gotta be excited about it. I know it's a good problem to have, but I'm telling you, we've done so much vacationing in the last few years because we only lived in apartments that we're going to live in New York forever. We're in like a 990 square foot apartment, which is big for New York. We have a good apartment in New York, but from apartment to house, when you're in an apartment, you travel a lot and you're like, oh, let's go to nice rooms because we're not ever going to have a nice big place. So there's one cruise on Disney Dream that we did a 1-bedroom concierge, and the bathroom was like bigger than my kitchen. The cabin had a walk-in closet. I didn't have a walk-in closet when I lived in New York, so that was really funny. It was just like we would travel and like the rooms would be really nice. So we were traveling all the time because we're in an apartment in New York. That's the thing about living in New York. You leave your apartment all the time. You leave because it's an apartment. But when you're in California, you have a house. You like nest and you stay there. You like chill a lot. And I love my house now. I just want to be home. But it's so interesting how these things change. Like I never thought that I ever considered selling my Disney Vacation Club membership. I've been on the waiting list for Club 33 for like 17 years. I never thought that I would not want to join. Yeah, that's crazy to me. But I'll always be, it's not like I'm not going to go to Disneyland again. It's not like I'm not going to go to Disney World again. But I don't plan on renewing my Magic Key, which is pretty, I don't know. Realistically, every time I say that though, I tried this last year. I didn't renew my Magic Key and I ended up having to get one. So I got to keep that real. I'll probably have to keep the Magic Key. But, I'm not buying. I have good Disney gear. Good. But I don't buy it anymore. Okay, watch. I'll have to eat my words. Watch I buy some Disney stuff today. I'll try to make it through the day without buying anything Disney. It's not going to be hard. I'm just saying it's going to be funny if I end up buying something. I do have to get my hair done. I'll probably do it at the Grand Floridian. So I think it's probably time for me to check out soon, actually. Head over to the next hotel. Until next time.